Can you believe the new year is almost here? And I know a lot of you out there are looking to eat healthier this next year. So I'm back to share more healthy meal ideas to get you started. Hey friends, it's Angela. So good to see you all again today. And if you're new here, welcome and thank you so much for stopping by. So before we get into these healthy meal ideas, I just want to say again, just to make sure you know I'm not a doctor and I'm not advising that you all need to eat the way I eat. I'm just sharing different ideas that I found that have worked for me over the years to help me stay thin. So let's get into the kitchen and start making some breakfast. We are back in the kitchen and I'm going to show you how I make my second favorite breakfast. It's nothing super unique or anything, but I do put one ingredient in there that's going to surprise you. First, we're starting out with 1 egg, and to that, I am going to add in some egg beaters. The reason why I do that is because the yolk of eggs have a lot of cholesterol. They have about 186 milligrams of cholesterol each. Adding egg beaters to my eggs gives me more, right, for my breakfast, but this has no cholesterol. It's just the egg whites. To this egg mixture, I'm going to add in some of my vegan cheese. Adding my cheese just gives the eggs a really nice flavor and creaminess. Then I'm going to add the surprising ingredient, which are broccoli microgreens. I love these because it adds a little crunch to my eggs in the morning, plus it's loaded with great vitamins. Now I'm going to sprinkle with a little salt, and we're good to go. Bon appetit! I love this breakfast, especially in the wintertime. It's warming, it's really filling, and it's healthy for you. Now we're moving on to lunches, and today I have 2 to share with you that are both super easy to make. They're healthy, they're filling, and they're recipes that if you don't like what I'm putting in mine, they're super easy to adjust. Both of these lunch recipes, there really is no exact recipe formula. You really just put in how much you want of each ingredient. That makes it super easy, doesn't it? First thing we're adding is 1 can of chickpeas, which have already been washed. Then I'm going to dice up some onion. Now here's the thing with the onion. You could do a regular onion, red onion, or even green onion. It's really your preference. Now I always like to add something crunchy to the salad, so you could do cut up carrot, you could do celery, or you could do some kind of pepper. Today I'm choosing to do orange pepper. Next, I'm going to add just a little bit of corn to the mix. This is sweet white corn. Then I'm going to incorporate a healthy fat by adding half of this avocado. Then I'm going to add in some Dijon mustard. Now again, the Dijon is something you just add as much as you want to it. Now you can either stop right here after the Dijon, maybe add a little salt and pepper or a little garlic salt, and you're done. But if you want just a little creaminess to it, then I would suggest adding just a little bit of mayonnaise or maybe vegan mayonnaise, whichever one you'd prefer. Now that this is all done, let's give it a try. Not like I don't know what it tastes like. It's really good and it's easy, and it's got your healthy protein in there with the beans. It's got good fat with your avocado, and with whatever veggies you cut up and put in here, that's going to give you a lot of good nutrients as well. It's good. Now I'm going to show you 2 different ways that you can serve this. The first thing you can do to make more of like a sandwich with it is to use these egg white wraps. I buy these in my local Kroger up here in Michigan, but take a look at your local grocery store. They may not have this exact brand, but they'll have something close. These are by Egg Life. They're 25 calories per little egg sheet, and they have 5 grams of protein. I like to use these because they're a good alternative to using bread. Okay, so I've got my egg white. I'm just gonna put it down there and load it with my mix and just wrap it up and eat it like a little burrito. Or you could try using some romaine stalks And just use this as your little sandwich there and just load the mix into that. Now you've turned it into another great healthy option. Now, if you're looking at me like, no, Angela, I need my carbs, then maybe I would suggest using one piece of bread and making it like an open face sandwich instead of two. At least that'll help cut down on the carbs. It's about 1:30, I am overdue and I'm getting a little hangry, okay? So I put together a salad for myself yesterday. Now a salad isn't a big mystery, right? Everybody knows salads are healthy, but I'm gonna show you a really healthy dressing that I use instead of all the bottled stuff at the store, and it's absolutely fantastic, I love it. And here's the other thing about salad while I'm prepping things. For me anyways, it's way easier for me to prep salads in advance because if I have to get out all the stuff when I'm already hungry, there's no way I'm gonna do it and spend all the time chopping everything up in the kitchen to make one salad. So I'll make a batch and put it in Tupperware bowls in advance. So this is a perfect idea whether you're home or going to work because it's all prepared for you. If you do this kind of thing maybe on a Sunday, now you've got the beginning of your week already set to go. You just reach in the refrigerator, grab your lunch, and you're good to go. So for this salad, I'm using romaine lettuce, and then I chopped up some red onion, some tomato, some orange pepper, and I put in green olives. Now here's the thing, you can do black olives, you could do green, whatever, but my favorite type of olives are these. The container's empty, but I'm gonna show you what the name of them is. These are so good. I find these in the deli section of my grocery store. So look for them there, or maybe they have a jarred version in your grocery store. So here's how we're making the dressing. You need two things. You need an avocado, and I put in some garlic salt. So let me show you how I make this before I add it into my salad. Now once you've got it out of the shell there, you don't need to cut it up. We're gonna just put it right in this bowl and we're gonna use a fork to mash it. And now I'm gonna sprinkle in some garlic salt into my avocado mixture, and feel free to use as little or as much as you want to your tasting. Now we're gonna add this mashed avocado right on top of the salad. And then I'm going to use my fork to mix and incorporate this avocado into my salad until it's really kind of coating all of those pieces of lettuce in there. If you find it doesn't look coated enough for you, just take a little bit more avocado, maybe a fourth of it, and mash that up and mix another quarter in there. Same thing with this garlic salt. Try a little piece of it. If it's not enough, just add a little bit more at a time until it's to your tasting. And we're all ready to go. Now, if you want to kick this up a notch and add a little bit more protein, maybe think about putting in some cut up chicken. You could do chickpeas in here and that would be good as well. But I'm telling you, this avocado as a dressing is money. It's actually kind of amazing to me how this can be so good with just the avocado and the garlic salt. When you think about how many calories it's gonna save, and this is healthier fat than what you're gonna have in your bottles of dressing. So good. So we are back in the kitchen to make our dinner. Now what are we making? We are gonna make lasagna, but we're kicking the white noodles to the curb, and instead we're gonna use a healthy alternative, which is zucchini. So we are making zucchini lattice lasagna. Now there is a recipe and it specifies certain amounts of your cheeses and things like that. So I will put that all on the screen for you, and I will actually put the recipe for this down in the description box below as well. So let's get started. This is a 6.5 by 8.5 inch pan. I thought it would be good to make it a little bit deeper than use a 9 by 13 and have the lasagna be kind of thin. So we're gonna try this and see if it works out. The recipe calls for, I think it was 4 to 6 large zucchini. These are pretty big. These suckers are pretty big. I got 4 just to be sure. If you don't use them all, you know what you could do? You could take the leftovers and make zucchini boats out of them and use some of your sauce and your cheese and bake them in the oven. First, we're gonna put our mix together. It calls for 2 eggs, 3 cups of a cheese. Now I'm gonna use a dairy-free vegan cheese. You can use whatever you want. For me, I don't eat dairy, so this is what I use for an alternative. Then it calls for 1 cup of Parmesan cheese. Again, I'm using a vegan alternative. It's by Follow Your Heart. And this is a Parmesan cheese I always use. I'll sprinkle it even on my spaghetti. Love the taste of this. And then it also calls for 2 cups of ricotta cheese. I actually found vegan ricotta cheese. But again, you use regular Parmesan cheese and regular ricotta if that's what you like. Okay, looks like a brick to me. Let's go ahead and break all this down here before I go ahead and add my cheeses. Here we are 2 hours later. No, I'm just kidding. A few minutes later, and our mixture is much better than what we started with. So now I'm going to add in the 1 cup of Parmesan cheese. Now we're going to take our baking dish and we're going to spread on the bottom a little bit of marinara sauce. Now that we've got our mixture ready and our pan started, it's time to cut up the zucchini. As you can see, I mean, they didn't turn out equal, obviously. This one's a little thicker, this one's thinner. They're all jacked, okay? But I don't have a mandolin. If you have a mandolin, you need to use that because it'll make it much easier to slice your zucchini than how I try to do it. Now we're gonna layer in our zucchini right over our marinara sauce. Then we're gonna put 1/3 of our ricotta mix on top of that. So this cheese is Follow Your Heart. It is a vegan, dairy-free cheese, and this is probably my favorite brand. But I'm also going to be using another brand as well because I didn't have enough of this at the store. This time we're going to take it the other way. I guess that's where the lattice comes in, right? Look at that goodness. Now, I am not saying by any means that this is the healthiest meal in the world, okay? We all know that. It's got a lot of cheese in here. So now that we substituted out the white noodles for the zucchini, it made it better, but there's a lot of cheese going on. So what I would recommend if you want to save on even more calories, maybe just cut the cheese in half or 1/3 of it or whatever you can to cut down on calories. But I wanted to show this recipe because everybody loves lasagna, right? And this is just a little bit of a healthier version. So we're gonna put that lasagna in the oven at 350 for 30 minutes. Let's give it a try. I mean, it's definitely a different texture because of the zucchini rather than white noodles. It's a little harder and the flavors are good for me. I'm sure if you make this with your normal cheese, it'll be just fine. If you guys missed it, watch this video next right here. I shared more recipe ideas for you and great snack options for when you're craving something sweet and salty. Until I see you next time, my friends, stay beautiful on the inside and out.